whatever reason, the land is actually more expensive. And there are lands in rural areas. The larger part of our lands in Nigeria are not in the cities. They are not in Lagos. They are not in Abuja. What are we going to do with those lands? And that's what my company have decided, that we found a way to create value that generates money for a lifetime from those. And this is the introduction. Few years back, as a young child, growing up, I told somebody, I said, they almost got caught up with a war that broke out between two communities. One of the communities were very stubborn. They are always looking for trouble. They talk to everybody. They want to fight everybody. And the other community is calm and quiet. They don't look for trouble, but they win every fight. So there's a history of 4 communal clashes, and they won all. And they didn't start any. So you know how we Nigerians are. They started calling them Israel. That's for another day. This other community that looks for trouble started the trouble. At least we know. But why did they start the trouble? These two communities were some of the 2 richest communities that I've ever seen. They are so rich. How many of you have sold anything? Let's say you take it with your hand to another location to sell. Have you ever done that? Mobile sales like you. I'm not talking of traffic sales. That's not what I'm referring to. I mean, this is another location. You carry your goods from here because you know that location they buy. Okay. The glorified way of saying it is hawking. That's one. But I was the one doing hawking. Everybody wasn't doing hawking at the time. So, but what happens is, once it's a certain time of the year, you see traders. Some of them will come with their bikes. They'll come with goods filled in those bikes. You know how they load the bikes to the point that they sit on the tank? You understand what I mean? And they ride it down to that place. And when they're coming back, they carry 2 people. The bike is empty. 2 communities. One of the communities were focused on cocoa and plantain. Anything cocoa, that's the calm community. They don't have issues. They are not fighting with anybody. They accept everybody. You start a fight, they end it. And the other community, this other community planted their cocoa, their plantain and everything. They are hardworking farmers. These other communities don't farm at all. They don't plant anything, but they are rich. Why? Because years back, a white man came to the community with some of his Nigerian partners, bought a large portion of land, right? And planted palms on it. The government of the state knew about it. The project was so large that people lived on the farm. The settlement on the farm was larger than the settlement in the community itself. With hospitals, schools, that was how large it is. It covered 2 communities. You know, some of us who come from places where there is no much land, when we say 2 communities, that's small land. But when you now think that in other places, a community is actually an entire 2 local governments in Lagos. Yeah, it's true. People have land. So 2 communities down to another local government. Only palms. And this species produces amazingly. So, because of how violent they are, guess what? You can already guess. They chased the white man. This is happening many years ago. Way before I was even born into that community. These things have already happened. You understand what I mean? They chased everyone out. Government took over. They chased government staff. They started hurting government staff and started kidnapping people and the rest of them. Then, in things like that, government has to be diplomatic, right? If you send military there, for what? Do you understand what I mean? So what government did was to mediate between the community people themselves, because even the community people could not even get together. Mediated over them and said, now take your land, do your thing, and create a structure around it. And they said, okay, we'll do that. So what happens is that so long as you are a member of that community, every year, certain plots are apportioned to you to manage in that farm. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Sometimes you pay a token, not as a citizen, an indigenous. A stranger pays a token to buy those slots from them. Are we together? So, you have, let's say, one person, Mr. A. I'm talking of even 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds. I had classmates who were way richer than me because they attended school in the community where I lived. There is a significance of this story, and I'm going to get to it quickly. So you see them come, they go to the farm. All they need to do is to call people who will cut it, right? And many people migrated. A certain region in Nigeria, Akwa Ibomites migrated a lot down there because of the harvesting of the palm fruits. I don't know if there's something they know more about that, but they were basically majorly the ones who were harvesting the fruits in those places. So what happens is that this young guy, 15-year-old, who has 2-3 plots of palm estate, he didn't plant it. He just woke up one morning and discovered that there's a farm. And it's causing fights. Government said, create a structure. The structure is that everybody must have a share. So we're not going to plant it, we're not going to harvest it and share the money. We're not sharing money. Take your plots, do whatever you want to do with it. And guess what? Palm fruits was wasting. Because there's a place they call Last Bush. Nobody goes there. It's very far. And Last Bush is the place with the best species. Because, this other area, they're always disturbing it, right? So it's not very ripe. They cut it down. But the other place, it gets very ripe. And nobody touches it. That means that the whole of that estate was bigger than this one community to control. They couldn't control it. So, you will see people go there. When is that palm oil season? Go there with goods worth 2 million naira and sell out in a day. It's the same people buying. So, I used to carry bomo, dried fish, all the things. I carried the whole pot of soup in my head. So I'll carry it. It will be heavy. I'll not be able to walk. I'll be moving like this. And somebody will look at me and say, can you carry this thing? It's too heavy for you. It's not heavy. Why? Because the moment I hit the first community, more than half is gone. So I wouldn't mind to carry it and walk for the next 10 minutes. Because from 10 minutes upward, the load becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. If you've hawked, you know what I mean. It gets lighter, the more people buy. Now the day we market, no day, now they suffer pass. So I took it there, and they just kept removing the pomo and all of that. We did this every single time. We came out with everything sold. Why? Where are they getting money from? In this place, nobody was farming anything. Nobody was good. They didn't even do plantain, cocoa, none. They don't have any. They don't plant palms. They buy cars every year and sell it. You know that kind of financial cycle. They buy it when the palm oil is making money. Then they go broke. When the whole thing goes down, then they sell it and survive on it till the next season. Then they repeat the cycle. And I believe it's still happening till date. So these two communities fought. So I was there the day the fight broke. I was just selling. As I was finishing and coming out, they started killing people. So, but I had crossed to the community where we lived. This community Today, I can evaluate that they made billions per year. It's still till date. You can go to startup community in Cross River State, Boki. But the other community is similar. They don't plant palms, they don't even have palms, they just do cocoa and plantain. But anything you take there, they'll sell it all. That was my first encounter with agriculture. But as a young child, it didn't make sense because I'm an Igbo boy. I came here to sell markets. You understand what I mean? I'm not looking at what you're doing. I just came here to hawk my thing. Buy, give me this money you have made. Give it to me and let me go away. But after a while, after I had started businesses, made money from businesses, and lost money again and again, one of the questions that I asked when I started my last company, which was a beauty brand, I was asking, what is that one thing that I can do now and guarantee that in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, I'll still be making money? I have a very sharp business mind, but I didn't find any. And that was when I remembered that all my peers, all my age mates who were born the same time I was born, do not know when those palms were planted. By the time we were born, the palms were already at least 20 years in the ground. Are you getting what I'm saying? And yet, every year, they are guaranteed of making money. I don't know if you get the point. Now, they didn't plant it, but this was where my eyes started opening. I said, so it is possible to have a source of income that is repetitive, right? Every year. It happens this year, next 2 years, next 3 years, next 4 years, and that was my answer. And guess what? Like every other farmer who have, some people, someone said that it's a disgrace, that the farm he did is a disgrace. I understand what it means. Some of the people who are here, who are still in my team, all of us together, we got about 10 hectares at the time. This is 4 years ago. When the idea is shocking you, it's hot. You are like, everybody you see just look at that and say, you don't know what I know. My life has changed. You have not implemented one thing. So we went to this community, got the land, 10 hectares. We were excited. Wow, the land was easy to come by. Amazing. Okay, what next? Let's begin to get the seeds. And at the time, I didn't even know that there's anything called NIFOR. I didn't even know that Nigeria had an agency that, not just, they do a lot of things now. And it's actually one of the best in the world. I didn't know. So I just went to Wilma Farms in Cross River State as well. I went there. This was an already established oil palm estate. They were large. I think they have 50,000 hectares totally in Africa. So in Cross River State, they had a large farm. So I felt, let's just go. Let's just go and pick their seedlings from the roots and plant, and our life will change. We had started nosing up to 10,000 when the revelation came. I was looking at the 10,000 like this. I was already counting the money. My goal was 130,000 palms. So we're going to start with 10 hectares and keep spreading. And when I saw that, I said, my life has changed completely. 10,000? 10,000? We have lost 10,000? Once in a while, I'll just go there and do selfie. Let me be looking at my investments. Until somebody said, if you plant that thing to return to the parent crop. Meaning, normally palm oil takes years. Normally. Palm oil will take at least 10 years. Normally, I'm not talking of the ones that now take 2 weeks. I'm talking of the normal one, right? The ones that all of us, the one they call native palm. 10 years, is still smiling at you. So I just added 10 years to the life that I was living at the time, and I knew that this is not retirement. That it won't work. And at the time I had spent money. So, but, that was not even the big issue. I now checked how much will it take me to develop about 300 to 600 hectares of land. Guess another thing I discovered. Do you know that one of the reasons why people, even though they know farming is lucrative, they will never be able to do farming? Land preparation. Land preparation seems like a joke till your farm size increases. In other countries, government will do land preparation for you. In Nigeria, it's a lie. You will pay 450,000 naira per hectare. Now, that's because that land does not have too many timber. I'm talking of clearing. I'm not talking of, what's it called? I'm not even talking of tilling. I'm not talking of plowing. I've not even spoken about those ones. Then you multiply that by the number of hectares you're planting, you're already in trouble. So you see how you can have large portion. My papa get land. Develop it now. No. It costs a lot. So I realized that everybody talks about agriculture, but not everybody will be able to do it. The way we talk about it, it sounds like if I just wake up now, plant one seed in the ground, my life will change. You will plant that farm, then you now start talking of security. Let's leave Fulani herdsmen. Let's leave anything that is coming to attack people in the farm. Let's just talk about the people that comes to steal the crop. How will you secure the farm? It costs a lot. Because sometimes you have to do fencing, right? And fencing is no joke. Then if the farm is very large, you have to have settlements in the farmland. You don't build house like that. We have a 5 tons per hour factory in Cross River State that we're building currently. It's at the finishing stage. Guess what? When we started that factory, it just felt like it was an easy thing. Getting the machine was expensive. But you get the machines and you're like, okay. Then you buy the land. Then you start building. Remember, this is not the crop I'm putting in the ground, though. And so far, on that project alone, we've spent more than 20 million naira. And we are not done. There's still so much to be done. And yet, are you understand what I'm saying? And yet, it has nothing to do with the cassava we put in the ground. The cassava is on its own. That expenditure is different from this particular one. Because the moment you start creating that kind of opportunity, the value chain keeps expanding. Another thing we didn't even consider is proximity. So we felt that anywhere there is land, there is life. So we had land. We didn't consider road. We didn't consider closeness to the community or to the market. Now, so you don't buy vehicles. So, yes, farming will make you a billionaire. How? It means that the guy who has 1 million naira, there are things he can do in farming and grow gradually and all of that. But if he wants to slap Elon Musk and ask him how much you get, that is, do you understand what I mean? So we have loan agencies in agriculture in Nigeria that does not give loan to the people that need it. You get what I mean? Because how many people would they give loans to? And sometimes you're coming to, you are starting a farm. You cannot even get a proper loan. They will need to come and see, do you have a farm? Do you have something going on? Then they will now they give money to the ones that are already surviving. The ones that are like, we have hope. We have small hope. Help us. So this is where the challenges are. So as lucrative and as sweet as agriculture is when we talk about it, there are some hidden challenges that people will jump into before they realize. Do you understand what I mean? Unless you just want to plant and eat, you don't have problem. If you want to plant and eat, you don't have one problem. But if you want to make money from agriculture, problem starts. Because in Nigeria, you will provide everything for yourself. It's the reason why in Nigeria, telecom companies still provide electricity for themselves. That's the Nigerian business landscape. So you, that you're coming to do a big farm, be ready. One of the places we have our property, the 2,000 hectares, the governor of the state also has a property there. And I hope, because when you do the maths, you have to do road there, right? Because it's an entire farm. There is settlements there. There's so much. There has to be electricity there, right? So we said, okay, as governor, don't get 1,000. He also has 1,000 hectares. They're planting what we are planting. Okay, thank you. That means, okay, governor will put road, right? Governor will put electricity. Okay, that's good. But what if it doesn't happen? Because if you have 1,000 hectares of palm, you will need a factory inside there. You will need a place for the staff. Majority of your staff will not leave. They will stay there. So the money you spend, I'm talking of the challenge of capital now. The money you will spend to own a farm that can change your life is a lot. And we saw these problems. And those are the things we are solving here. That even somebody who is like, see, I don't know where I want to start from. You can own a farm. Everybody, is there anybody here that doesn't know that agriculture is lucrative? Please do your hand like this. Everybody knows. But enter now. You understand? Okay, let's say you have the money. Then you can do all that. But there's so much more. There's the intentionality aspect. You have to understand the crops. You have to manage it. Okay, you can employ people to do that for you. It takes quite a lot generally to really be a farmer and own farm and be successful at it. Does that make sense for us? So that's why we launched some of the things we launched. When we launched Farm to Wealth, the idea was that there are many people who want to do farming, but you see, if you do other businesses that generate money for you daily, please, can I see your hand? If you do a business that generates money for you daily, let's say you sell something, money comes in daily, it's a different kind of feeling, right? I started asking the question, why can't we do that with farming? What's the issue? That's how Farm to Wealth came to be. Can't we do something that really in farming? Because we need to find a way for everybody to be involved in agriculture. Isn't that the idea? That will generally change the economy of the country. But you see, this thing that we all know but cannot implement will not take us anywhere. That was when we realized that even in proper agriculture, there is value chain, right? We said, no need for me. So how do I earn daily, monthly, weekly from agriculture? I'm talking of Farm to Wealth now. Without plant, because if you plant cassava, you have to wait 12 months. Am I correct? 8 months, 12 months, depending on what species you plant, right? 6 months too. You have to wait. But how can I do it without waiting? And those are the things we are popularizing in this country because it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, many people will not go into farming. We now discovered that there are people who love to plant, right? Let them plant. Let them plant. So a man plants 10 hectares. Instead of this man that plants it, thinking, this took us a lot. It takes education to achieve this. Thinking that because I planted it, I have to harvest it, process it, and sell it. Right? We said no. There is Mr. Tunde over here who needs a farm but doesn't have the time, doesn't have the patience to wait for 1 year. Are we together? But if you sell your farm to him, now, because the farm is mature, remember? He has done all the work. He has taken all the risk. If you sell your farm to him at a rate that is okay for you, saves you the stress, pays you the bulk money, and you go ahead with your life to plant another one, and not only that, and you can also access a loan of up to 50% of whatever you sell the land. This is the offer we give to many farmers in those rural areas. And some of them said yes. You know, how to gather people in rural areas is to tell all the cassava farmers to come out that you want to empower them. Everybody, chief, even there are people who are abroad, they will come down. Everybody will gather. That's how you have the whole community. And by the time you talk to all the farmers in the community, if you get 10%, you'll have more than 100% selling to you, Abi. Yeah, so that's how we... God, I'm talking of farm to wealth. It's not part of what we're discussing, but somehow I just want to use this to tell you some of the solutions we are creating because of these challenges. So this guy wants to own a farm now, but he wants to make money quickly, not because there's anything wrong with making money quickly. I mean, you sell something today, you can make the money today. But it's not like that with farming. And some people who want to go into farming want to use their last money to go into the farming. Are we together? So what do you do? So these 10 hectares, they sell to Tunde. Now, Tunde owns a farm that he did not plant, right? He didn't do anything for it to mature. He didn't take the risk. Tunde is now a farmer, but a lazy one. And then Tunde looks for harvesters, processors, right? And they process the farm for him. And then he takes it to the market and sells. So Tunde is a hybrid farmer, but he didn't plant anything. So Tunde says, I make money from cassava every month. Somebody will be shocked, right? But this is the strategy of farm to wealth. These are some of the solutions that allows everyone. Do you get the idea now? Everyone to go into farming. This guy is the key. If you get this guy on your side, this guy will continue being a farmer. And what do you do for this guy? This is the whole value chain, because this guy in turn can plant more next year because he's going to get funding. So next year, he gets money. Big companies do it. Dangote has a rice plant and doesn't have a rice farm. Right? Where does he get the rice from? Same thing. This is how everybody, first of all, goes into farming. This is farm to wealth. So he plants, you sponsor him, he does a bigger farm next year. So 10 hectares becomes 20, 30 hectares. Am I correct? So next year, there is more cassava. You have more. You have more of such people coming into the value chain because they are beginning to realize, I don't have to die on the farmland. I have the land, I have the labor, I can actually plant and sell it. And many people are doing that currently. And that's how some of the people are telling you that they have 80 plots of cassava farm and all that. That's how they got it too. They didn't steal it. Now, this is one of the solutions we created. What's the problem here? People don't want to wait that long to make money from farming. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. We just need to find creative ways to make that happen. And we did here. And what we are doing now is farm to wealth, farm to retire. Why? What is farm to retire? Retire on farming and agriculture. Every day. So, if you know that next year you will make at least 80 million naira, whether you breathe or not. Will it change how you live your life? Will it change what you do with your time? I made a joke one time. I said that if you understand farm to retire and you stopped giving birth to children because you don't know how you're going to, what you go and tell your wife is they born, they go. Why? Because sometimes people are not even sure how their children are going to go to school. And that's the problem farm to retire is solving. Whether you're young, whether you are at an advanced age and you're like, see, I'm tired of working. I don't even have the strength to work again. That's what farm to retire is doing. So, are we ready for this? Let me get into the good part. So I've already talked about some of the brands we have. We have Farm to Retire, we have Farm to Wealth, we have Farm to Field, we have Learn to Farm. Our milestone so far in Farm to Wealth, we have helped more than 300 farmers make at least R1 billion naira from farming. They are at different levels. And how did we do that? This thing I just showed you here, we already have that working. So people have owned farms and made money from it. And some of them are actually doing timber because we have a massive rainforest with woods like that. And they are making money from timber processing, sales, and all that. The same pattern of ownership as well. So currently, we also have a 2,000 hectares farmland mapped out for the first phase of the Farm to Retire project. Please be clapping now. Thank you. And on the other hand as well, we have, I would say, because I don't know, I've not seen another factory bigger than that in Cross River State. We have a 5 tons per hour cassava factory in Cross River State that is nearing completion currently. So, by the way, 5 tons is 5,000 kg per hour, which means we have the capacity to do 50,000 kg in 10 hours. That's amazing. And we have more than 8 local governments supplying us cassava currently with this strategy. So what we are doing with the factory is centralizing it. Centralizing production because we didn't have a factory, we just produce everywhere. So we produce where we buy the cassava. The logistics cost is killing. Just like I've been telling you about logistics. So, but what we're doing now is that because cassava, after 24 hours, it loses 50% of its starch. The quality drops. If you don't process, if you don't peel, grind within 24 hours, the quality drops. Do you know that? Yeah, it's true. So what we are trying to do is to have a big enough factory where everything can come in the same day. As we're harvesting, we're moving it all, and it's in Ecom local government. Is Ecom a local government even? I don't know, but it's in Ecom in Cross River State, okay? And we have an office in Ecom as well. So you can always visit our office. And we also have an office here in Lagos. So in that central location, these other communities and local governments where our cassava farms, or the cassava farms we buy are, we bring everything into that factory. This is the plan. And process it all there in a single place. So that gives us the opportunity to do way more than we are doing currently. Is that okay? Then, I'm also going to talk about agritourism plans. I'm going to explain it briefly. I'm not going to dwell so much on that, but it's part of Farm to Retire. We'll talk about that. And there are many other milestones that we have that you will also see as we proceed. So, sometime last year, some people who didn't live in Nigeria called me and said they want to return to Nigeria, but they don't know what to return to. And I've had people tell me that they have lands, they don't know what to do with the lands. I've also had people tell me that they're looking for viable investment where they'll put their money and be guaranteed returns, which that sounds funny these days because the word guarantee is a strong word. Am I correct? Yeah. And some of them go into land banking without the necessary information, right? And when they go into that land banking, they are expecting that in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, the land would have appreciated and they sell, right? How many of you have bought land that it has not appreciated till now? You are hoping, you're just hoping that one day they will sell this land for 300 million and I will walk like this. You know, there are people like that. And some people do flipping. They buy houses and they sell to make money. And you know the kind of money you need to put into that to keep doing that. And some people have actually lost millions trying to multiply the money, trying to keep the money, trying to do whatever with the money. What I'm going to share with you today solves all that problem. Is that okay? So this is it. Now, you can have financial guarantee. And I'll tell you why. I think we'll use the screen a little bit. I'll tell you why. Last year, a company called Okomu Oil, they deal in palm oil, right? Made a profit of, let's see if I remember. How much? 60 billion before tax. Yeah, billion naira before tax. Those palms were planted 36 years ago. I don't know if you understand what I mean. What it means is that I went to check their financials for the past years, the ones that I could find. And I realized that they've been on profit for how long now? For the greater part of those years. So this is the thing. And pay attention to the part where I am now. They planted the palms 36 years ago. So let's say 6 years later, they started processing, right? They made money that first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. Then all of a sudden, in 2024, inflation happens. Everybody is concerned. And I thought that the inflation that made them make more profit was a Nigerian thing. Until I realized that another farm in Indonesia just sold to a family. Why? Because the demand for palm oil is rising in the global market. In case you didn't know, Nigeria is still deficient by 40% with palm oil. We don't have enough for ourselves. Do you know? You didn't know. You thought we have enough palm oil? Go and check it now. You don't know. That's why you never see anybody say, I carry palm oil, go market, nobody buy them. It's not good though, they are rushing it. Yeah, we import palm oil. That one is a fact now. And we also export. But the export quantity is very useless. It's just like the way Nigeria is exporting cassava. Do you know that the country that has the highest export in cassava, that made over $1 billion from cassava export, produces lesser than Nigeria? Nigeria exported only $1 million worth of cassava in the year 2022. $1 million cassava. And we are producing double what Thailand is producing. And Thailand exported $1 billion worth of cassava. That's understandable. We ate everything. But the point is, there is money to be made in that. We've not touched here. If all you do is sell within Nigeria, you will still be rich. Then when you start exporting, it's a different conversation. Are we together? So last year, Okomu Oil, their profit jumped by 52%. So I said, did they plant new palms? No. What did they do? Nothing. As things change in the economy, if inflation comes, it affects the price of their commodity. They just had to plant once. And for 36 years, all the inflation that has happened in the country, they have benefited. Are you getting what I'm saying? So Okomo Oil is making way more than it made many years ago from the same farmland. In a few years' time, 30, 40, 50 years' time, this conversation will be useless. It will be the crude oil conversation, right? Where all of a sudden the price of crude oil just collapsed. You understand what I mean? But not now. Apart from consumption, palm oil is used for a lot of things. So I hope you know. Same as cassava. Do you know that cassava sorbitol is an alternative for sugar in things like toothpaste, pharmaceuticals, and a lot of things? Do you know that? So while we are eating gari, eating abacha, swallowing fufu, there are other things too that this same cassava does. A lot. We went to a factory at Uzere in Delta State. How many of you know that factory at Uzere? It's a very big cassava factory. They basically focus on starch, but the management is poor. Very poor. A politician just bought it and dashed his son, so it's not doing anything with it. When I got there, I just shook my head. There is demand the guy cannot supply. And the factory is not working. So you go there and say, when can you fire the factory on so that we can do some inspection? He said, we don't have work today. 5 years, 6 years, you've been here, and you say your problem is getting cassava. How? Delta State has land. And people call. I was there. People were calling, do you have starch? We don't have. We don't have. We don't have. And the starch, the plant is so good that the export standard of the starch is one of the best in the world. It goes through more than 4 different purifications. Cassava starch. And the thing I also saw, which I would not do that, because I like the gari to draw. As they were making starch, whatever came out of the cassava, they used it for gari. You know the chaff, the one you call chaff? They turned it to gari actually. I don't know if the thing was drawing. It will still draw. Because, you know, some factories do up to 50, 70% extraction. But are you understand what I'm saying? There's demand. I asked, what do they use this starch for? They use it for binding. They use it for pharmaceuticals. They use it for a lot of things. That's why there's export value. There's a woman in Nigeria here, I've forgotten her name. Many of you will know it because the news trended, who makes millions of dollars per year from her cassava sorbitol plant. Abi? She's not producing gari. People in Nigeria import it. They import it. You know, cassava is not the only alternative for that, but cassava one is very good. They import it. She has, I don't think she has started exporting yet. She's just servicing the pharmaceutical companies and other brands in Nigeria. And that's what she's making. We can complain about our country, but we need to find a way to start, because we need to turn those problems into money-making ventures. Are we together? Are you getting what I'm saying so far? So, there's money to be made. This company made, I was looking at another company that made 128 billion before tax profit. Palm oil. You go and check for last year, one of the best performing stock in Nigeria Stock Exchange. Now, palm oil company. Red oil. Cocoa, even though that's already old news, well, somebody was making a comment that is a lie. Cocoa cannot make more money than Bitcoin. You are joking. You are joking. We not see, in our factory, we are not seeing anybody. You know how you look for artisans everywhere and you find them easily? You understand what I mean? To come and build. We are not seeing artisans to come and do our work as fast as we want. Do you know why? Because everybody in Ecom is building currently. Why? Cocoa. They made money from cocoa last year. Small land in the bush, inside bush or small land. You just touch like this, price has increased. Why? Cocoa merchant don't buy land. Cocoa currently, people come from other countries. My landlord is actually a major cocoa exporter in Nigeria. Office landlord. And, it's amazing that the majority of cocoa beans bought from Nigeria and exported is actually bought by a foreign company. 80% of the cocoa coming out of Nigeria goes to them. Like everything that is being bought is coming back to them. I've seen what they do. They go to those communities, they go with millions. They just look at one farmer that doesn't look like he has hope. Give him 20 million. Say, we want to support you. Nobody does that if they are not making anything. No. Is it not China that has been running around Ghana since? For cocoa. They say, Ghana, see as you find. It's cocoa money. That they are building cocoa factory. There is money. China does not waste money. They don't waste their time. They don't waste money. Are you following what I'm saying? We can sit down here and be asking, is there a beach by the land? Or we can find value. Are you getting what I'm saying? In those our forests that we have abandoned. And I'm not just here to tell you the solution, the problem. I'm here to show you how we are doing it. Does that make sense to every one of us here? Because I know, I'm a very realistic person. The lifestyle you have, me too, I have it too. Somebody said that he doesn't like debt. When I say this, how can you be a farmer and you don't like debt? That's what I want to help you understand. All those debts that is for the camera. Not go and lie down on sand because you want to do. Are you following what I'm saying? We must do it in a way that we can carry more people along. And some of you who have agriculture company, I believe this is also something you can do. Because instead of us waiting and doing the individualistic thing, we need to find a way to get everybody involved in a realistic way. Because everybody wants to own a farm. But everybody will not farm. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. 90% of you here will not farm. We can't all go back to the farm. It's not possible. You get job. You have a job now. You have a thriving business. You will not leave it and go back to Ogun State and be staying in the bush. Because, do you understand what I mean? But you can still own a farm. I think that's the value chain we have to be creating now. Do you understand what I mean? How everybody can be involved. Now, if you want to go to the farm, it's your business. You can come and see whatever you want to see in your farm. Inspect it. Even take pictures. Let people know that you are suffering. But at the end of the day, everybody will not be able to do that. Farming is not a retirement plan. Something you do when you are old, when you are no longer, you now go back to the village and say, where that our papa land? Where the boundary? From here to here. Okay, plant okra. Young people can do farming now and make money from it. So many companies are making billions from farming, and they planted those farms. A Nigerian company just acquired a Ghana palm oil estate. Guess how much? $20 million. Farm that was planted more than 20 years ago. In Indonesia, people are buying farmlands. They are buying an entire farm. Palm oil estates that have lasted for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. People are buying it up. So we are waking up in this event. Am I correct? And we need to start making the money that comes with it. And, I am somebody that studies the market a lot. It's still very early. 20 years' time, palm oil have not even started shaking. 30, 40, 50. You will never hear that somebody has palm oil and they could not sell it. You will never, in Nigeria, that's, you may not know much about economics, but that alone tells you that this thing they sell. I don't know if you understand what I mean. You may have clothes that you are selling and nobody will buy. They will look at the clothes. No, it's not that people are moving naked, though. They just don't want to buy it. They can wear one for 1 year. But you see palm oil. There is a way you will even pour palm oil on the road. Somebody will beat you. There's a time that they used to use palm oil to do sacrifice. I don't think they do that thing again, no. Then they use other water. Say the gods are beg. Don't say things cost things hard, though. When I manage water, water is life. Those are not the commodities that we should be. Before this, everybody is talking about it. Doesn't mean that everybody is doing it. We all have to do it and do it in the right way. And like I said, it costs a lot of money, right? It means that if one person wants to carry it on their head, you may never be a farmer. If you are ever a farmer, it will not be at the quantity that, do you understand what I mean? That might, provoke the kind of economic benefits you desire. So, many companies are making money from this. I know quite a lot of them. Cocoa as well, blood money. Plantain, I don't know what it is about plantain, but plantain is very lucrative. Do you know that? And our population keeps exploding. Just like we have 26 million housing deficit. Is it in the entire Nigeria or Lagos alone? 28 million housing deficit. Lagos alone. We need 28 million extra houses for all of us to be okay. That's how fast our population is exploding. The Gary way day enough yesterday, no go day enough tomorrow. If you are not giving birth to more children, I don't know what's happening. Our stomach can be enlarging sometimes. What people eat will increase. Things are happening. People are giving birth without looking back. Children are cropping up from everywhere. And the way we have the other African countries also depend on us for these things, though. There's problem. Let's solve it and get rich with solving it. Does that make sense for all of us? So now let's talk everything. So farm to retire, we said, see, everybody should be able to retire on farming. We discovered that farming is a good vehicle for retirement. Not all crops, or not all farming. No. I hope you understand. I chose 2. 3 actually, but the third one is going to only go for 3 years and it's over. That's plantain. So I chose 3 major crops to talk about today. Is that okay? Palm, cocoa, plantain. You cannot retire on cassava. The reason is because retirement is that you just need to go. You see, the thing with cassava is that there's so much work. And it has to be done yearly. You understand what I mean? You have to do it consistently. There's a way you can plant it. There's planting calendar that you can use and all that. But I don't think it's that sustainable for what we're discussing. You understand what I mean? I'm just talking of generational crops. Something that produces fruit. It will produce this year, next year. So if you can find things like that, and they have value. There are many, I just want to focus on these 2. There are many. Cashew is another one. Coconut is another one. Hope you know coconut is another one. Yeah, coconut is very good. But orange too, I'm just trying to talk about things that we can implement immediately, and it is easier to manage, maintain. You understand what I mean? And has longevity. The lifespan of a palm tree, even though you don't have to, you can replant maybe after 30, 40, 50 years, but averagely 100 years. Untimely deaths, no, they catch them. Palm is very resilient as well. I've seen people who fire gutted their farms and the palm still produce continuously. The palm just said, "You think you can kill me?" We move. So it's very resilient. I think it's such a good investment to have. You understand what I mean? And why did I choose this? Because I used to hawk where they were selling it. I know the value. You see, when you're telling somebody who have not experienced that, they don't know what you're talking about. There is something about just knowing that next year money will come. And I don't necessarily have to do more. I told people money can grow on trees. Oh, it's true. You see all those our adage. Why are you eating like that? Do you think money grows on trees? It does. It does. That's what I mean. Money grows on trees. Do you understand what I mean? Cocoa as well produces yearly. However, the management and maintenance of cocoa is way more delicate than this. But if you can maintain it, spray it, give it what it needs, you're good. Is that okay? If you can do that, you're good. Yeah. I said the management and maintenance of cocoa is very delicate. It's not like if you leave cocoa without maintenance, it will produce nothing. If it produces, those pods will die. Yeah. They become useless to you. So you have to maintain, you have to manage. There's a certain period where you have to spray it. You have to clear the grass. You have to do the same with palm, but like I said, palm is resilient. It will not die, it will produce, but not at the quantity you want. But it will produce. And in fact, when people say that palms do not produce all year round, it's because they don't take care of it. If you keep pruning your palms, it will produce. It's true. It may not produce large like other seasons, right? But you will come and see one or two. They don't do small 2 things for your head. You understand what I mean? Yeah, it will produce somehow. Then plantain, why? Because these things, the least that you can have any of these things, so I'm already getting into the real thing. The least that you can have for this, the least time to wait for these two. Though I know there are those for 2 years, but you shouldn't expect certain level of yield for 2 years, right? So I put this at 3 years. But again, we are back to the waiting period. So I have a solution for that. Are you following what I'm saying? Before this matures, then look at this. This one also 3 to 4 years, but I leave it at 4. For significant yield, at least. Do you understand what I mean? So, first, let's remove the fact that I have a solution for this waiting period. Are you okay with that? Because I'm still going to talk about it. And this one is 1 year. Plantain. It's like cassava. But easier to, yeah. So, let's say you planted palms last 4 years. What will your finances be like now? Will it be possible that by this time you'll be making plans based on the yield? Is it possible? What if you did it 8 years ago? The time is not long. That's the point. If it's worth it. If I will eventually retire on this, it should be done. People have bought land 10 years, they are waiting. The land has dropped. I know somebody who has land now. They are trying to sell it. They are not seeing anybody to sell it. And they bought that land with joy. Called me. He said, will you buy? I said, where is it? They told me. I said, I'm not trying to build a shrine now. I'm not buying. Because it's not at a level where I can use it to farm. Are you following what I'm saying? So if all you have to do is wait for 4 years, and then your finances can be guaranteed, and you can retire on it, is it a long time? That's my question to you. Is it a long time? You close your eyes now and open it again, another election has come. Is it not World Cup that we're about to watch again? We've not forgotten what happened the last World Cup. Another one is coming. And that's 4 years exactly. It doesn't take that long. You just have to start. Say, I don't like it. I've got to tie my money in the ground. If you know that money will keep... Remember I said money is a seed you plant in the ground so that it keeps yielding more money. Money has to grow on tree if you will retire. These are the crops. Now let me tell you our structure in farm to retire. Are you ready to hear it? Please, you people should appreciate me. Now, before I continue, I'm going to take a 10 minutes recess so that you can ruminate over what you've heard, stretch, and let me talk to my team about a few things, and I'll be back. Is that okay? Yes. I'll be with you shortly. Thank you.